Hi and welcome to this quick training video on Boardmaker Online, which is now available from Spectronics. So if you're ready to ditch that Boardmaker CD for good but keep using the program that you know and love, then maybe Boardmaker Online is for you. Maybe you already have Boardmaker Online and you just want a little bit of extra information about how to use it, then that's why you've come here today to look at this training video. My name is Amanda Hartmann. I'm a speech pathologist and one of the consultants here at Spectronics, and yes, it is true, I am the self-proclaimed queen of Boardmaker around here. So it's my job to welcome you and say g'day here from Australia and bring to you this series of quick videos that can tell you a little bit more about Boardmaker Online. So these training videos will cover a variety of topics, so enjoy. This training video will focus on how we can actually create activities using the templates that come within Boardmaker Online. There are heaps of templates in here that we can use, and I am going to focus on those templates that allow us to create what I will call interactive activities. Sorry, I'll get that out. So we're going to create interactive activities. These are the activities that are, rather than be printed out and laminated and used as Velcro activities, these are interactive ones that can be played on screen for students. So students can play these activities in an interactive way, either on their computer, or we can put them onto their iPads or onto the interactive whiteboard. Now, there's no reason that you can't use some of the templates to still create print-based activities, because I know we love to do that here in Australia. I'm a big fan of creating books and activities and printing them out and having hard copies of them. But some of the templates that come on Boardmaker Online do allow us to create interactive activities that students can play. So let's have a look at how that works in Boardmaker Online. Okay, so I'm in Boardmaker Online now and I'm on my home page, so I'm going to immediately just go straight away to creating activity. And remember, whenever we create an activity, what it's doing is it's opening up our online editor. And the first option I have straight away actually is to be able to create activities from these templates. So the templates actually come up straight away. Okay, you can do searching for things, you can do all sorts of things. You can search just by looking at just which are some really interactive ones that you could use. What are some print-based activities? These are some of the favorite ones. So if you want just a matching game, or you've got a grid there already made. But let's just play with a book template first, and you can see there are actually lots of, there are lots of different book templates that you can use. Okay, so let's just practice, or let's just choose a basic one here, and it's asking me whether I want to see a sample or just to select it, and I'm going to select it. And we know now that our online editor is opening up, so I'll maximize it to full screen so that you can see that, and then you'll see what happens. Basically, I'm just given now a page that has text on one side, and so two buttons on the page, text on one side and a picture on the other. The beauty of using the template is that some of the settings are already done. For example, the properties here for the font to be this size, and the properties saying that it's text only, no symbols. Whereas if I click on the second one where our picture goes, we can look at the properties of this one here, and it's a standard button, but it's showing us that it's going to only put a symbol only on there. So this is how we can create a book that has text on one side and a picture on the other. A really handy tab that we have in Boardmaker Online, which is really cool, is that little Pages tab down on the side here. So I'm over on the left hand side and I open that out, and this actually now shows me, if I have a look down, a thumbnail of all of the pages in my book. So we've got some page templates. It's given me 10 pages for my book here. At any time I can click on the cog for that page, and this is somewhere where I can actually name my pages if I want to. I can delete pages. I can also copy and paste pages. So if I'm happy with something, I can do that. So let's just say for this here, let's just go in and start creating a book. All right. So there we go, that's easy. If I want to, I can increase the size of the font. So just get my select tool back and I can increase the size of the font if I want the text really big for the title page. Okay, so I've just added the title on my opening page here, and I'm going to go over to this side now, and this is where I can perhaps change the color of the background. I can change and play with the properties of things, but I'm actually going to go across to the symbols button and just simply type in the word that we want and find a picture and drag it across. Okay, so there's my page 1 of my book. Now I can click onto page 2 and I can keep going. Okay, so you just type in your text and add a symbol. And because the settings have already been set in this template, it automatically resizes the properties of that picture tab so that it's symbol only with no button label, and also that it's using it as a standard button. Okay, so there's our page 2 there. So now let's have a look at page 3 now. So let's add some more text, and I'm going to show you something slightly different this time. And I pack my towel to go to the beach. Oopsie, sorry, get my typing right. Okay, so I've written the text here, and now this time, if I click on to this right-hand button now, which is the second page of my book, if I actually want to put more than one symbol on the page, rather than using a standard button type, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose that I want it not to be a standard button, because a standard button will only allow me to put one symbol or one image on it. Instead, I want to use put more than one button, because I want to put my beach bag and my towel, me packing it in there. So I'm going to push the group button. This is now a group button. This now allows me to add more than one symbol on there. So now let's click over to our symbols tab, and I can, over here, I can just type in bag. Oh, there was a beach bag there, so we could have put that on. You can see now I can put in as many symbols as I want, and I will get my towel. Okay, so there's my, well, which towel? Any towel will do, I suppose. There's my towel. If I'm not happy with that towel, I could do a web search and type in the word beach towel and see if we get an image, a photograph of a nice beach towel. There we go, that looks like a good beach towel to me. So I've just clicked and that's pulled in the picture of the beach towel straight away. So you can see here that when I use a group cell, the symbol, so this is a group button I've created, I should say, the symbols that I drop in just get put anywhere. And if I've got that four-sided arrow, that allows me to click anywhere on that symbol and move it around to where I want it to go in the button. If I go to the bottom corner of the button, I get a double-sided arrow, and this is where I can resize. So I can resize my button so that I can make the symbols bigger or proportionately sized depending on what I want. You'll also notice that when I dragged the symbols across in a grouped cell, they had their labels back on them again. So if I want to change that, I'll just go back into the properties and I can just say symbol only, and that way if I do that, it's now taken away the symbols. So the labels. So now we just have the pictures that we want, and then the text is over on the left hand side. And now I can increase the size of the text. I can also change the font. So if I've got a particular font that I'm using with my students, I can choose that as well. I can also change the border thickness for a cell. So that's all those property tabs things that you can change. So it allows you to change the properties of the entire button. It also allows you to change the properties for the symbols as well, okay, or for the whole cell. So then basically we are set to go. So once we've created our book, we've got a couple of pages in it there. I can save it, but let's just play it first and see how it looks. There we go. So the kids have got a read-along book that they can read. This is also one, excuse me, that could be a print-based activity as well. So let's save that now. That was just a basic book template, and there are a few different variations on the book template that you might like to try out. So let's just save that and let's look at something else. So to get out of the edit mode, I just need to minimize and close the window, and I'll go back to my Boardmaker now. Okay, so you can see the going to the beach activity has just landed right there. I also want to go into books and stories and just show you another template. So this is one that I've already started, so just so that you can see. So I did the in-on template here, and this is really an interactive activity. So there's no option to print this activity because it's an interactive one that will play as a talking book. On your, so again, on your computer screen, on any computer platform, in the web browser, onto your interactive whiteboard, or even on an iPad. So I'm going to push the play button here, and you can see how using a template has allowed me to create this interactive book. So let's just maximize it to full screen so that you can see it. So when I entered my again, you can see, so this is a talking book. So the text, I've used group cells again here by combining two symbols together, and I turn the page with these buttons. The cat is on the bed. It reads the text to me with highlighting, which is really cool. And again, as I said, I combine two symbols together on a group button to create the picture on the top with the text down the bottom. I also have the nifty little pop-up that draws out the symbols to match. So this can be if a child is reading back the sentence themselves and they need a quick picture support to help them decode the word, then they can use those symbols there. Okay, so that's pretty simple. The cat is in the box. Okay, so let's stop that activity. What would you like to do now? So I'm going to stop reading the book. Yes, I'll leave that activity. Now I'm just going to go into the edit button here and just show you how I did it all just really quickly. So editing, it's opening up my online editor into a new window again. So I'll maximize it to full screen for you to see that. And here it is. So again, when I opened to create an activity, it just allowed me to create this template. And the template had these little red instructions that are invisible when you play the activity, but they tell us how to do the activity, how to create the activity as we go, and to make it interactive. So you can see the template already has the book layout, and it has those buttons down the side. And again, if I push this little left pages tab, I click on that, and you can see opening down on the left hand panel there is the all the thumbnails of all the pages that I've created. And I've got a few blank ones there that I can add again. So again, you just type your text along the bottom. Easy peasy. And then up on the top here, we just go and select our symbol from here and see if we can find a symbol of a girl sitting on a chair. Got lots of people sitting on the ground. There she is. Okay, and I'll just drag it on and it fills up the whole space. Okay, so really simple, just putting the symbols in. And now if I preview that page, you can see straight away that all of those buttons on the chair. All those buttons work. The symbols will pop up with the girls with the text that match. So all of that in the template is automatically done. So we will save that activity and exit because I want to look at a different template now. There we go. All right, so we're back in my Boardmaker again. Okay, let's create another activity now. So again, I create there, and now I'm going to choose another activity. So this time I'm going to do a sequencing activity, perhaps. Maybe I've got 4 items that I want to be put into the right order. So the template that I bring up, which is now opening up into my online editor, maximize that so you can see it. You can see here that I've got 4 spaces at the top, and the students' job will be to drag them into the correct order. So they're on screen, the interactivity bit will be that they have to drag them into the correct order. So this is the correct order up here, and it will present them in a randomly different order for the students to reorder when they play the activity. So what I'm going to do for this activity now, to add the symbols in, rather than use my symbols tab over here, I'm going to use the place method. So I just select the symbol, the button, and then I'm just going to start typing on my keyboard. So I'm going to put the thing that would come first in this sequence, and I push enter on the keyboard, and I find an appropriate symbol, and then it's automatically gone through to the next cell, the next button on my page. So I just type in the word, select the symbol that I want. Oopsie, better give it a cocoon first before it turns into a butterfly. Push enter on my keyboard, find the right symbol that we want. So whenever I push enter, it automatically draws up my symbols, so then I can choose the symbol that is most appropriate. Okay, so that's all I had to do, is I had to put my 4 items in here, and I've put them in the correct order so that it knows the answers. And now we will play the activity and see how it looks for the students. So their job, so these have been randomly presented, they have to drag them down.
That's right. Egg is the first item.
Okay, so it even gives me feedback. So if I get it wrong...
No, butterfly is the 4th item.
Okay, so it's actually given me some verbal...
That's right. Caterpillar is... That's right. Cocoon is the 3rd item.
It's giving me some verbal feedback as well.
That's right. Butterfly is the 4th item.
And because we used the...
Good job. You put them all in order.
Phew, I did a good job. And because we used the template, all of that text, all of that prompt-based stuff, the prompts in there, they're already automatically in there. You don't have to do any work, which is so time-saving. You can see I could have... The next button basically...
You reached the...
and it just telling me that there was only 1 page on there. But if I go back to the design mode, and again I open that little left page tab, you can see here I've only got 1 page, but I can easily add another page. Just by pushing this little page here allows me to add a new page. Okay? And then so I can create multiples in this activity of sequences. Okay, so let's save that as life cycle butterfly. I hope I got the sequence right for you watching the video. So let's save that. So I think it would be a really, really cool opportunity when you get Boardmaker Online to explore all of the templates. So let's, so we've saved the activity, and we'll close out here now and see if we can find a new template. Okay, so there's the life cycle of the butterfly in our activities. It's just applied here. I just want to point out, you can see that this one here is the template that I chose for that sequencing is a performance enabled activity. So that's actually going to keep data about if I assign this activity. So this is my assign. If I assign it to a particular student, so I say, yes, I really, really need Bazza to work on that activity next time he's in class. And it's going to record his responses to see how much he got right, so that we can have a look at his performance on that task, how many he got right and wrong as he's doing that sequencing activity. So that's pretty cool. And that's one of the beauties of Boardmaker Online, is how we can keep data about those interactivities and how the students are doing at them. So let's just do one more. I think that would be a really great idea if you're using Boardmaker Online, if you've got a particular activity that you're doing, to really have a look through at all these different activities that there are. Yes, you know, there's some print-based things with flashcards and communication device overlays and you know, visual schedules and sequences, stuff that we're familiar with. But being able to create the books from those book templates is fantastic. The sequencing, and I'm going to show you now a sorting activity. Okay, so this is where we can create an activity for perhaps for some vocabulary development, that the students have to click and drag activities into different groups. So maybe just into 2 groups. It doesn't really matter. So let's just choose 10 items in 2 groups and select that template, and it's opening up in the online editor now for us to be able to add our own content. So remember the little red fine print when it opens, the little red fine print over here gives us the instruction. So we can edit the label at the top. So up in the top here, we want this to be healthy food, and we want this to be backspace that, unhealthy food. Okay, so we've got that there. I can choose a symbol for that, so I can just, by clicking on the button over there on the properties, so we'll choose that for healthy. So now I've got a little symbol on my healthy tab, and again, if I select the properties of this, I can choose a symbol from over here, and I can type in, say for example, junk food or something like that for unhealthy, and that looks pretty good. So now I've got the text. I should do capitals. If I want, I can of course change the properties of things by increasing the label size, by increasing the font, etc. And now basically I just need to place some healthy foods in each of these things. So I can easily do that by just typing in words of things that are healthy and selecting them. So let's get something green, broccoli, and some meat. I've got to find some meat that actually looks healthy. So that sausage meat doesn't look so healthy. Some meat, there we go. And we'll also put milk. Okay, so I've chosen my healthy foods there, put them all in, and now some junk food. Pizza, and I've got to select the button that I want it to do. Chips. Now you can see here, because we're in Boardmaker Online, for chips it's bringing us up potato chips. So of course if I was actually talking about fries, which is what they call them in America, but I was really meaning chips, I can just do a search there. So it says the word chips, but we can use the picture for fries, so that's fine. So all the good stuff over here, I mean the bad stuff over here, let's just choose the symbols that we want. Chips, chocolate, ice cream. Okay, I might have needed a space between for ice cream. Oh, that looks nice, soft serve ice cream. And one more junk food. Ooh. Okay, so now I've created 5 healthy foods and 5 junk foods, and the written instructions down here sort these items into the correct groups, and I don't place anything here because that's where these are all going to go. So now let's play that activity to see what it looks like, because it's pretty simple. So all my activities, all of my choices down here, and my job as the student is to click and drag them into the right spot. So, and it's going to give me,
That's right.
it's going to give me verbal feedback.
That's right.
if I
belong.
If I
That
get
doesn't belong there.
if I do the wrong answer, it will tell me. So I can just
That's right. That.
click and drag
That's
my
right.
healthy
That's right.
and my unhealthy food.
That's right. That's right.
I better get the answers right. Okay.
That's right. Pizza belongs in junk food.
Okay, so it gives me the
Good
verbal
job.
feedback
You
as I go.
sorted them all.
Okay, so I can save that activity now, and I've got an activity all ready to assign to my students or to do as a group class activity or to send across to my iPad or whatever I want to do. Okay, so let's just close out of that, go back to our main Boardmaker Online interface now. So here's healthy and unhealthy there, and you can see again, just like the life cycle of the butterfly, the healthy unhealthy is a performance enabled activity. So again, when I go over here and tell Bazza that he has to do this activity next time he's in class, it's going to keep results of how many he sorted into the right place. So again, not only are we doing cool on-screen activities, which is saving us a lot of time in terms of printing and laminating and velcroing, but we're also able to actually record live data and keep track so we can match it to IEP goals and class goals and track progress of students. So that's pretty cool, actually, I think, when you start creating these activities. And of course, you can create it to match whatever class content you're working on. So I know that everyone will like that. So today, this quick video, I was just trying to cover really quickly some of those brief tools about creating an activity from all of these wonderful templates. So again, I encourage you to look through and have a go at using some of them to see which ones might suit the activities that you're trying to do in your classroom. So check them out. And I really look forward to seeing what you create, because of course, once you've created an activity, it's really, really easy to go and share it. So if I open it to here and have a look at it, I can now, this activity, I can go and add it to our Spectronics group. Now, if you've joined my Spectronics group, you'll be able to access that healthy and unhealthy activity and download it onto your computer. So you might want to try that out. So it's such a good way. Use the templates, create activities, and then share them. I think it's a really fantastic advantage of Boardmaker Online, how much we can share and access with other people when we use those templates. So enjoy and good luck. And I do, as I said, look forward to seeing what you create. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to sharing more about Boardmaker Online with you soon. Bye now.